The lights are hot. The moment is engineered. Cameras roll not for reflection, but for reaction. Across the table, a question is fired, sharp, baited, dressed in civility but hungry for spectacle. The world leans forward, waiting for the slip, the spark, the unraveling. But none comes. McConaughey doesn't take the bait. He sees it for what it is, a performance, not a pursuit of truth. And instead of snapping back, he lets the silence breathe. He pauses. He lets the moment hang. Not with fear, but with clarity. His reply is simple: that's none of your business. No heat. No hesitation. Just stillness, anchored in self-possession. This is not defiance, it's discernment. He is not reacting. He is governing. He is standing within the space between the question and the answer, deliberately choosing not to surrender his balance. The Stoics knew this space well. The only terrain we ever truly own is the narrow but powerful ground between stimulus and response. To fill that space with reaction is to let others write your script. But to fill it with silence, consideration, and restraint is sovereignty. That is the practice of philosophy, not in words, but in presence. The crowd wants noise. The culture wants performance. But the Stoic offers neither. He breathes. He waits. He decides. This kind of stillness does not arrive by accident. It is earned, not through silence alone but through the work of becoming someone who can be silent with strength. McConaughey's stillness feels like rebellion on a stage designed for speed and spectacle. But it is not resistance for its own sake, it is discipline, a slow, deliberate counter to the culture of instant retort. In that moment, he doesn't just avoid a trap. He turns it inside out. He reveals it for what it is and walks past it untouched. There is a power in not rushing to explain yourself, in not handing over your peace in exchange for the illusion of control. Ask me anything, he says. And he means it. But that openness does not bind him to respond. There is no fear in setting a boundary, only clarity. The Stoics taught that opinion is not obligation. That dignity is not earned by performing compliance. Marcus wrote to himself to stay rooted, to remember that his job was not to please, but to act rightly. Seneca warned that haste betrays the self. Epictetus reminded that provocation is powerless if you do not yield your judgment. McConaughey's pause is a choice, a refusal to be moved by manipulation, a declaration not of rebellion but restraint. In this way, silence becomes sharp. Stillness becomes an answer. The pause is not passive. It is active. And in that pause lies freedom. 12 principles take shape from his example: practical, enduring, quietly powerful. Here are 12 distilled from the author. Principle 1. Master the pause. The pause is not hesitation, it is precision. It is the space where clarity gathers and the unneeded falls away. The world rewards reaction, but the Stoic waits. He lets silence speak first. The question may be baited, the tone loaded, the moment charged, but the pause remains clean. McConaughey holds that pause not as absence, but as action. It is his protection, his sovereignty. In that breath between provocation and reply, he preserves what matters most: choice. Principle 2. You owe no one your peace. Peace is not a performance. It is a possession, yours alone to hold or to guard. The world asks for it constantly, disguised as curiosity or demand. But the Stoic does not trade serenity for approval. McConaughey's refusal to engage is not coldness, it is care. Care for what he has built within. None of your business is not defiance but a boundary. And it speaks of a more profound knowing: once scattered, peace is not easily gathered again. Principle 3. Not every fight is worthy. Some battles dress themselves in urgency, but they are illusions, designed not to be won, but to be worn. The Stoic sees the bait and declines. McConaughey sees the game and steps aside. There is wisdom in walking away, not from cowardice, but from clarity. Engaging in every skirmish dilutes your purpose. Let the noise swirl. Let the crowd jeer. Choose where your strength belongs, and leave the rest to pass like weather. This is the wisdom of the Stoic, the wisdom of knowing when to fight and when to let go. Principle 4. Speak only when it improves the silence. Words have weight. But too often, we spend them like loose change. The Stoic spends them like gold, sparingly, with purpose. McConaughey's silences are not gaps, they are ground. He lets the question settle. He speaks only when the air is ready. This is not cleverness. This is craft. The silence is his ally. And when he does speak, the words land, not because they are loud, but because they are earned. This is the power of choice, the power of knowing when to speak and when to let the silence speak for you. Principle 5. Do not perform, embody. There is no role to play here, only a presence to inhabit. The Stoic performer does not mimic calm, he lives it. He does not pretend detachment, he possesses it. McConaughey's stillness on that stage is not posture. It is the residue of years of practice, of knowing who he is, and who he is not. Embodiment cannot be faked. It must be lived, daily, in choices small and large. And in that consistency, the self becomes real. Principle 6. Let them be uncomfortable. Others may squirm in silence. Let them. Others may grow restless with your calm. Let them. You are not here to carry their tension. You are not responsible for their discomfort. The Stoic holds his ground not to punish, but to clarify. McConaughey doesn't flinch to fill the gap. He lets it breathe. He lets it work. The moment teaches on its own. You need not rush to rescue those who stumble into it. Principle 7. You are the thermostat, not the thermometer. The room may shift, but you remain. Others may rise in heat or drop in chill. But you hold steady. The Stoic sets his climate. He does not mirror chaos, he transforms it. McConaughey's tone does not spike with the question. He doesn't match the energy in the room, he defines it. This is presence, not reaction. Influence, not mimicry. Be the steady force, the grounded one. And watch the room adjust around you. Principle 8. Define your boundaries in stillness. There is a line, and it does not need to be shouted. It needs only to be held. That's none of your business, said without spite, becomes a wall that no push can cross. The Stoic draws lines not with fire, but with firmness. McConaughey does not escalate. He anchors. And in doing so, makes his position unmistakable. Boundaries don't require noise to be strong. They need clarity, held without apology. Principle 9. Own your response like a craftsman. Every reply is a sculpture. It can be shaped, refined, considered, or tossed like debris. The Stoic chooses craftsmanship. McConaughey answers not to react, but to reveal. He recontextualizes. He redirects. He reframes. And in doing so, he keeps his shape. The world will prod. But your response is always your creation. Mold it wisely. Speak it as a signature. Let it carry your precision, not your panic. Principle 10. Silence can be defiance. To say nothing is not to say nothing. Sometimes silence is louder than thunder. The Stoic uses it not as a shield, but as a sword. McConaughey withholds not from fear, but from intent. Silence, when chosen, has weight. It creates space. It reframes the moment. It demands reconsideration. Use it with care, but use it. Let it remind others that you are present, but not beholden. Principle 11. The question is not a command. Just because a question is asked does not mean it deserves an answer. The Stoic distinguishes curiosity from control. McConaughey does not respond on demand. He does not play the part written for him by another. A question is an invitation. You may accept, or you may decline. But you are not compelled. This is freedom, to choose your response not by expectation, but by integrity. Principle 12. Stay in the moment, not in the noise. The moment is real. The noise is not. The question may echo, the tension may rise, but only the present is yours. McConaughey remains here, not in the headlines or the fallout, but in the breath and the truth of now. The Stoic lives there, too. He does not chase reputation. He does not fear misreading. He anchors in what is, and lets the world pass by. This is presence, not passive, but rooted. Not evasive, but exact.